This is the Blue Water Outlook Weekly Weather Briefing, July 21st, 2019. Across the U.S. over the last week, a couple things stand out. I think the clearest area of rainfall over the last week was the track of hurricane and then tropical storm Barry. It was a minimal hurricane as it made landfall, pushed up right along the Mississippi River, brushed parts of Mississippi, for westward Alabama, then northward up the Mississippi River. Didn't spread a whole lot further east, but the moisture associated with Barry, the low-level moisture, certainly contributed to the high humidity and the current heat index situation. Now, the second area of precipitation was over the upper Midwest. Very strong thunderstorms, severe storms, wind reports, and that's pretty typical in the middle of the summer as we get a lot of daytime heat. You build up that atmospheric energy and then thunderstorms explode late in the day. That's associated with the jet stream energy, so these storms do tend to move usually from a west to east direction, northwest, southeast with the jet stream, whereas where we get scattered thunderstorms elsewhere, like over the southeast U.S. over the past week, they tend to not move a whole lot. So the dew point is a measurement of that very low-level moisture. And a couple days ago, we had dew points in the 70s and even near 80 over the middle part of the nation. And you can sort of see it starting to move off to the east, not quite as widespread. So we're beginning to shrink the dome, the heat dome. We're beginning to shrink it. I think by next couple days, we're going to really shrink that. But temperatures were extremely hot over the last week, especially over the upper Midwest. You can see that area of red, 6 to 8 degrees above normal. Most of the nation above normal. We had many areas high temperatures in the 94 to 97 degree range, heat index readings during the late afternoon near 110. So very brutally hot summer week. And one of the things that causes lots of problems, and I mentioned this in one of my posts, is the overnight low temperature. And look at this here this morning. Over parts of the U.S., the eastern U.S., we're looking at the overnight low temperature 15 to as much as 20 degrees above what would be normal. And a lot of times when you get heat index readings that are low temperatures remaining that high, you just can't release heat from buildings, and that causes a lot of health issues. So we're gradually beginning to come back to more of a neutral mode as far as soil moisture goes. A number of weeks ago, you had a lot of blue. Now we're sort of going back either to a little bit of green, which is a bit above normal as far as soil moisture, a little bit of yellow, a little bit below normal. So we're sort of getting more into a neutral range. And I'm going to be talking about this a lot more in a post early this week regarding an agricultural update. I'll be talking about it. But you can sort of see the southeast U.S., despite some daily thunderstorms, could still use some precipitation. It's trending a bit on the dry side, not excessively so. And we still have some wet areas in this area in blue right here as well. Taking a look at the tropics, well, there's some unsettled weather in the Gulf of Mexico. It does not look organized. It's not expected to organize. There's some very unorganized area in the Caribbean, and that does show some modest potential to organize and move in this area over the next 5 days. So I'll be looking at that very closely to see if it does. Right now it's just a moderate threat. There's no sign that that's going to be a major or significant system, but this time of year we need to keep an eye on it. So the river points above flood stage, the black dots and the really high spots, the teal, have really pulled back over the last week. You can see we continue that trend of less and less spots above flood stage. Not much on the upper Mississippi anymore, nothing on the Ohio, even the lower Mississippi, just a few spots. So that trend I do think is going to continue. In summertime thunderstorm, we can always have tributaries go to flood very quickly, but I think the main stem rivers look like they're continuing the downward trend that started a number of weeks ago, and I do think that'll continue looking forward. So the heat dome has been the big story that we've seen over the last week. The second factor that's impacting our weather is the right up here, the alignment of the jet stream, and those are the two factors that are going to continue to dominate our weather over the next week. So what's that heat dome going to do? Well, the ridge of high pressure aloft pushes off to the west. I mentioned that last week, and is anchored over the western U.S. So parts of the western U.S. are going to be dominated by that hot and dry weather. This is going to be a refreshing midsummer trough. It's not going to last forever, but especially in week 1, by week 2, we have back to pretty much a summertime pattern, the jet stream well off to the north. So looks like at least 1 week here with a reprieve in the weather. Look at the blue. Blue is below normal temperatures. At the same time, over the western U.S., the southwest U.S., that high pressure over that region, it does look like it's going to remain quite hot, and not just this week but next. But you can see that this cooler air this week and into next as well. Now, to give you some timing on the ushering in that cool air, well, here's your dome of high pressure at the surface. This is the cool air pushing in, north winds here. Here's your area. This is late Monday, and the enhancement of rain along that front as it goes through Monday and Tuesday over the southeast U.S. And it's going to produce some enhancement of rain in the Appalachians, but overall not a whole lot. Now, there's going to be some unsettled weather in the Gulf, some interaction. Again, this is not at the current time expected to develop in anything, but it could give us some unsettled weather along coastal regions. If you're in that region on vacation, some showers and thunderstorms, mainly in the afternoon hours and evening. Elsewhere along that front, maybe up to an inch of rain as that front passes. Even the upper Midwest, which has been very busy with the jet energy because we have that dome of high pressure pushing in, it looks like it's going to be quiet. So overall, a fairly quiet week as far as widespread rainfall. Now here's your 6 to 10 day. We begin to pull some warmer air back into week 2, getting back into more of a summer pattern. But look at the west coast of California, unusually hot for 2 weeks. And in the south central U.S., look at this, right from Texas across the southeast U.S., maybe even 2 weeks of near or below normal temperatures. Now, like we see a lot of times in summer, not a real organized type pattern for precipitation. I think we're going to have this light green, and light green is pretty much going to be just scattered, maybe chancy type precipitation, and that's the middle of summertime for you. So I think the big story is going to be the frontal passage that's going to occur over the next couple days and end this dome of heat, high heat and humidity. It's going to replace it with some refreshing, cooler and drier air over many parts of the nation as we get through most of this week. So this should be an enjoyable week weather-wise after the next day or two. And now the western U.S., that's going to be a different story. That'll be hot. Hope you have a great summer week, and I'll be talking with you again next weekend. Take care.